Hi, I'm Philip Hundl. I'm an attorney in Texas. My practice area focuses on representing landowners facing condemnation and partition matters, land partition matters. In this video, I'd like to briefly talk about if an agreement to partition cannot be reached, then what? What's the next step? And of course, when you're attempting to reach an agreement on a partition, there's oftentimes offers and counteroffers and initial suggestions and other suggestions. But if you reach a point where you cannot agree on a partition, then I'm going to say an agreed format in which to partition the property, and then possibly the parties can either roll dice, flip a coin. Perfect example, I had a case where essentially there were two groups of landowners. Multiple landowners, I think there were approximately 18 people, but they basically gravitated to one of two groups. And so we had a group of 60% of the ownership and 40% of the ownership. And so the parties agreed on a format and methodology in which to divide up this particular land. Each group actually wanted the land by the highway, right? And so it was if the 40% group, and I'll use a simple example because the acres involved would get a little complicated. But let's just say it was 100 acres, and one group was 40%, one group was 60%. Well, if the 40% group won the coin toss, they chose the land by the road, it would be 40 acres by the road. If the group that owned 60% of the interest won the coin toss, then they would receive a designated 60 acres by the road, if that's what they chose. And so there was two essential scenarios depending on who won the coin flip. And we actually had this coin flip in court. The bailiff brought a big token-looking coin. It looked like we were flipping a coin for the Super Bowl. But we had a court reporter. Well, the court reporter was there for the court. The judge oversaw everything, and we even videotaped it. But it was very clear, and we kind of read out the ground rules. But everyone also signed off on the ground rules. So we had an agreement, a binding agreement in place as to how we would flip the coin to allow someone to make the choice and what their choice would be. So it wasn't going to be, if you won the coin flip, you get to choose wherever you want these 60 acres. Those shapes, and I'll refer to land in a partition as shapes, you'll be able to, those shapes were defined and all the ground rules were laid out. Everyone agreed to it, and then we had the coin flip. I've seen dice rolls, whatever method in which someone wants to try to win. I have never seen rock paper scissors. So if someone out there has done that before with rock paper scissors, please let me know. But I've seen coin flips. I've seen dice rolls. I guess you could also put numbers in a hat and draw that. But anyway, so hopefully that's helpful. If you're facing a partition of land, it can be very challenging. Be patient, and always seek advice from an attorney that handles land partitions. Good luck.